Yeah, no, I think this is where I would land politically that, yeah, it is basically a movie of like Hollywood liberalism. It's very, woke for the sense, whatever you want to put on that term. But better that than the alternative of the psycho child trafficking movie that just came out. And it turns out, big surprise, most of the people involved with that apparently are also some kind of sicko perverts. And yeah, I think the best proof of the actual political dynamics of it was how furious conservatives were about this movie.
Yes. The Ben Shapiro's, everyone.
Ben Shapiro,
they just went nuts.
Yeah, he was like taking pictures, like taking a notebook into the theater. He released like on the day it came out like a 45-minute video just pissing his pants about this stuff. And I think that shows you that, in our sort of like Gramscian war of position, this is not taking the final trench, but it's moving, in a towards the trench that the conservatives don't like to see. They don't like to see this type of like, basically gender egalitarian type of messaging, even in the broadest sense, even in if it's not, perfect from like a socialist standpoint, doesn't really have much to say about class. They know this is not in their interest. And that's why they got so pissed off about it. Right. It's undermining their whole project. And the fact that it made, I don't know how many billions of dollars, is enormously threatening because it suggests that there's lots of money out there to continue to do this sort of thing and undermine, they're basically, as you say, like the terrorist attack on like public libraries and trans people and just like, civil rights for the, all Americans. And, so, I mean, it is really crazy to me to think watching this, like, charming film.
Fun.
It's just like kind of, it's a fun watch, it's just, and just getting volcanically furious about it. The level of just like sicko insecurity or just being an obnoxious person that Ben Shapiro must have endless reserves of being a bilious shithead, down in the core of his being. God, what a nightmare.
Think of the amount of fear and the psychoanalysis could go on for a while, being triggered by someone enjoying a Barbie movie, right? Like if that's a threat, boy, you've got pretty weak defenses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if what is that going to do to you?
What you're trying to accomplish is truly monstrous, such that this type of milk toast, gee, what if women had a little bit better? Then you're like, no, what if they didn't? What if they're back in the kitchen? Basically, and that's what Ben Shapiro wants. And, it's sick.
No, it's true. And and the other thing is that it occurs to me, the big shift besides the mortality being introduced, right? So there's that famous scene that is in all the previews where they're dancing at Barbie's house. And then she just says, has anyone ever thought about dying? And like the record scratches and everyone stops and is like, that was preceded by a kind of talk of perfection, but perfection as a lack of change and perfection as a kind of uniformity that is all just this is actually really quite well done. The water, of course, it does remind you of toys, right? Because like the water doesn't come out of the shower, and like the beach, the wave is like static, and so Ken tries to surf and he hits it and bounces off of it or whatever.
Yeah.
And like the pool, she slides down into the pool, but the pool is like hard as a rock. It's like the water isn't wet; it's like firm. So everything is plastic and static and the same, and described as perfect, and every day is the same as every other perfect, right? And then mortality, it's kind of like biting from the fruit of the apple, is you realize you're naked, meaning you realize there's a difference. Like there's a difference between you and me here and there, and it's like an awareness. Suddenly she has bad breath. Suddenly, things could taste bad. And so like if you think of like everything is one and that's perfection, and then change is like the difference between here and there, this and that, there's contrast. That's the journey of becoming, right? if that's what conservatives and reactionaries are against, the journey of becoming, of contrast, of difference, of here and there, of different types of people with different desires and different lives. And what they want is like a totalitarian sameness and homogeneity and just like a rigidity and order that defies any difference or any change. Well, no wonder that's a utopia or a dystopia, I should say. And no wonder that's something that they're constantly trying to protect, because that's impossible and requires the constant reordering and like opposing of everyone's choices and desires and lives, right?
That's the end of the preview, folks. As usual, we like to mention that this podcast is sponsored by the American Prospect magazine. So if you want to listen to the whole thing, you can subscribe at $5 a month if you want that, plus a free subscription to the website, plus the opportunity for a steeply discounted print subscription. You can do that if you so wish at $10 a month. And otherwise, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.